Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to you, hopefully elect, to the house of David, to the faithful that will be found faithful and remain faithful by the time Yahweh Shai comes. All right. This is your brother Yahweh call from GMS Orlando, and just through the spirit, of some things that I was meditating on this past week, this past Saturday's camp. One of the points that was touched on, going into a man and how he deals with his woman. Because as we know, the scriptures talk about the Lord compares us to a beautiful woman, and we are the Lord's husband, and again, Lord willing, we're at that number, we're going to be found faithful, the faithful bride, because the Lord, he has a funny ways of, the scriptures talk about bearing the Lord's indignation. One of those thorns, one of those things that Jake understands all too well is the when it comes to these women, a woman, soon to Amos 7:17, the Lord make our wives shall be a harlot in the streets, in the cities. All right, like I said, just things that we know all too well, especially when it comes to that woman. Because it's just, I often talk about how I often say this thing of ours, it consists of a lot of L's and just taking shit on the chin. And like I said, a major thorn, one of those major things Jake knows all too well is when it comes to these women, dealing with a woman, how she can back talk, she can just be rebellious, just be a headache, she could really be a thorn in the flesh. Well, how do you think the Lord felt? How do you think we did him? Again, the Lord's just giving us a small taste of how he felt. He's giving us a small taste how he did us, or Slakia, how we did him. Because that's something I often when situations arise with the women, I don't even get mad. It's just one of those things. It's like, damn, Lord, that's how you feel. That's how we did you. Like, damn, deserve this shit. You just got to eat that shit, man. But nevertheless, like the scripture say, being roughly paraphrasing, seeking the Lord 10 times more, because when it comes to the scriptures, man, it's a thing of it is really the Bible is really a love-hate relationship, back and forth relationship between the Heavenly Father and his woman. We often hear the stories. Such and such got into a fight, he got kicked out or she got kicked out, right? And then you hear how they got reconciled, and that's essentially what happened. Again, that's essentially what happened. The Lord kicked us out the house, but not only did he kick us out the house, the Lord pimped us out. The Lord pimped us out, because it's one thing to and this goes to show you how much the Heavenly Father, how much he loves his people, because according to the law, we're not supposed to, if a woman commits adultery, which we commit a spiritual fornication, all right, if a woman, if she commits adultery, if she steps out on a man, we're not supposed to take it back. But again, not only did we do the Lord, not only did we step out on our husband, the Lord pimped us out. He gave us over to these nations. He delivered us to these other nations. But not only that, the Lord is calling this. He's calling his wife back home. He's calling his woman back home, because that's as simple as it is. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Yeah, I put you out, but I'm calling you back home. And like I quoted, seeking them 10 times more, because for unlike what the society teaches, as far as the woman being the prize, no. All right, the real prize is the man. The real prize is the man. And I was talking to a Jake about this, just today, about as far as, and I did a video on this a couple of weeks ago. As far as a man that knows his worth. All right, a man that that just understands his worth and understands the fact that he's the prize. It's not the woman. So once a man comes to that understanding, it's a thing of that's a threat to this society. That's a threat to this world. You know, that's a threat to the society when a man comes to his senses, basically, when he snaps out of it. Because this world is so used to playing off of just basically having their way with Jake men. The world is used to having their way with Jake men. But when a man says enough is enough, and he comes into his senses, he snaps into reality, he snaps out of it. That's a threat to the society. All right, because again, unlike what this world has taught, the women are not the prize. All right, if anything, women are a liability, especially in 2024. Women, and it's a hard pill to swallow, but nevertheless, it's the truth. All right, you know, men have been told for decades about how basically it's their fault, and having to be held accountable, right? But now the fact that the tables are turning, all right, and women are basically put out there and they have to be held accountable, they don't like it. But tough shit. All right, tough shit. You know, tough shit, man. But nevertheless, like I was saying, because again, like how we did the Heavenly Father wrong, and now we're trying to make up for our fuck ups. All right, because at the end of the day, man, we don't deserve the Heavenly Father whatsoever. We don't deserve His loving kindness, His mercy, His grace. We don't deserve anything. And that's why, like I said, or like I quoted, seek Him 10 times more. Seek Him 10 times more. Right? Because again, just having this mindset of a faithful woman, you know, and that's what the elect are going to be found. They're going to be found that faithful woman. There's this movie, and I put it in the chat with brothers a couple of weeks ago. It was funny as hell, but there was some spiritual gems to be taken from it. I'm trying to find it. I believe it's on Netflix. I know this guy David Spade, he's in it. I put this in the chat with brothers a few weeks ago. The movie is called The Wrong Missy. The Wrong Missy. Now, I'm gonna just say, because the movie was funny as hell. But nevertheless, when you watch the movie, man, and you see the chick, how obsessed she was with David Spade's character, and I just couldn't help but to think, because that's how these women are supposed to be with us, and that's how we are supposed to be with the Heavenly Father through Yahweh Shai. Because I've said this before recently about how, in this thing of ours, we become obsessed. We just want to know what we can do. We just, brothers are so in tune with the spirit. Brothers are studying, diligent, so on and so forth. We're just obsessed with this thing. We're obsessed with the Heavenly Father, and that's how we're supposed to be. Almost like an obsessive wife. And that's how these women are supposed to be with us. Constantly, how can I improve? Trying new recipes and things of that nature. Just things of that nature. So that movie was hella funny, but it was spiritual as well. Because that's how we're supposed to be with the Heavenly Father. And nevertheless, that's how these women are supposed to be with the Israelite man. Just obsessed. All right. Faithful to the cause. Because again, the elect are going to be found faithful. Because again, the Lord, He kicked us out, but He's calling us back home. All right. And I've rambled enough. Let me go ahead and get a few precepts. I don't intend for this to be too long. I'm going to get this in Matthew. 2 quick precepts. Like I quoted Amos 7:17. The Lord giving us a small taste of how we did him, bearing the Lord's. That's a part of bearing the Lord's indignation. Because what's the glory of a woman? Or Slakia, what's the glory of a man is the woman. And that's why, hey, when it comes to that woman, that's a topic that it hits home for Jake. Because despite what people say, these other camps, they say that we're misogynistic and this and that, and when that's far from the case, Jake loves women, and so much that the Lord has to save us from these women. He has to save us from ourselves from these women. you know. But in Matthew 23:37, O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings, and you will not. Because again, it's as simple as coming home. Yeah, the Lord kicked us out, but he's telling us to come home. You know, he's telling us to come home. And with that, the fact that we've been invited back into the house, hey, we really have to be on point. We really have to be on our A game. Let me get another one in second Esdras to match with that. Second Esdras 1:30. It says, I gathered you together as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings. So you see, that's the point. I'll read it again. I gathered you together as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wings. So again, that's the point. All right. It's as simple as coming back home, man. Our husband, he kicked us out the house, but hey, because even the scriptures talk about that. There's ways when it comes to, when a husband and a wife, when they separate, all right, eventually they're supposed to be reconciled. Eventually, but of course, according to the standards of, just we're here in 2024 AD, so of course, it's completely different. But when a man and a woman, when they separate, eventually they're supposed to reconcile. They're supposed to come back together. Eventually. But again, because this is to the household of faith, all right, to the faithful, and again, that's why the elect, man, they're going to be found faithful. That faithful bride, the faithful one, the faithful woman. The faithful woman. You see, this is what it's all about, man. This is what it's all about. The Lord, he kicked us out, but he's telling us to come back home. And only the elect are going to be found faithful. Only the elect, man. Because with that being said, again, it's going to come with the spirit of understanding, like humility. Like I fucked up. I'm the one that fucked up. I fucked up. You know how Jake do, man. When it comes to Jake and Eve, like I fucked up. I want to do better. A woman that's in her right mind, at least for the most part. When she understands that what she lost, when she understands that, she's the one that's misses out, and she comes to her senses, like, man, I'll do whatever you want, type of ordeal, trying to be found, worthy again, trying to be found worthy again, man, and that's us, spiritually speaking. We know we fucked up, but that's why we're trying to seek the Lord 10 times more. That's why, hey, we're is, again, when it comes to the scriptures, it's the Lord, the Heavenly Father. He's just so poetic with it. He's so poetic with it, man. Like I said, there's a million ways how the Lord breaks things down for us to understand, for us to interpret. And one of those ways is how Jake deals with that woman, how Jake deals with Eve, man. So that's why when it comes to this topic, this is, again, a topic that Jake knows too well. He knows too well. Jake knows too well. Because the Lord, hey, he knows how to hit you where it hurts. He knows how to hit you where it hurts, man. But hey, it's all a part of the process, man. It's all a part of the process. All right. It's all a part of the process, man. And to the elect, they're going to be found, again, that faithful bride, the faithful woman, the faithful wife, you know. So just real quick, was on my mind, the Lord willing, this was edifying. All praises to you. How about Shemal Shai? Shalom to you, hopefully.